Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to another episode of TFiR Let's Talk. And today we have with us once again Dmitry Petrov, co-founder and CEO of Iterative. You folks recently released Machine Learning Engineering Management, MLEM. Tell us a bit about what is it?
Oh, that's an open source tool that is needed for model deployment. It's a way how you can save your model and then deploy it to some deployment platform like SageMaker, Heroku, or custom platform. That's one part of functionality. Second part of functionality is a prerequisite. It's part of model registry that you may have on top of your Git experience, model registry with Git repositories.
So talk about why you release it. What problem are you trying to solve?
Yeah, this particular problem, this particular product is about two part of machine learning deployment workflow. One part is a model registry. When we need you need to know what models you have. You need to know meta information about models. It's about kind of metadata management around machine learning models. It's needed for visibility. It's needed for productionization. You need to answer the question like, what is in production right now? And you might not believe, but majority of ML leaders cannot answer the question like how many models you have in production right now. You need like a special type of automation, and that's what model registry can help with. And MLEM is a way how to build model registry on top of your Git repository. We are saying, do you need a model registry as a separate SaaS tool somewhere in the cloud? Why don't you build your model registry right on your repository, on your GitHub or GitLab, and they can become sort of truth for your model registry for statuses. What is in production? What is on staging? What set of models you have? And this is part of best engineering practices that people use for application development, right? People use GitOps, Gitflow for this, and that's what MLEM provides. And the second part of the functionality, it's about model itself. You need to know what is inside a model file, what libraries is needed, what libraries are needed for deploying this model. What versions of the, for example, if it's TensorFlow, you need to know like what version of TensorFlow is needed to deploy this model. And this tool helps you to save this information. And when the model is ready for deployment, so your deployment system can extract this information and properly deploy and start serving the model. So it's kind of like a two values of the product. One is model registry on top of Git and GitOps practices, and second is understanding models and helping deployment system to deploy those.
Who are you targeting with this project or product?
We are targeting machine learning teams, and especially people who are responsible for life cycle of the models, for productionization of the model, and visibility and management of this model. So in many cases, it's MLOps or DevOps team. In other cases, it's ML team because it's in general good practice to own your own models and life cycle of your own models.
There's a lot of things that we preach, we talk about DevOps. The whole thing is shifting left. Things are moving towards developers or DevOps. But the fact is that there are still soft silos. You just talked about machine learning engineers. So talk about how do you kind of democratize it so that the wall between ML engineers and DevOps is getting shorter and shorter, trying to bridge the gap between two different disciples or teams?
Yeah, I think this is the biggest challenge in the AI in general, because today many teams live in this kind of like silo when you have like ML teams who build models, and then DevOps team who like needs to deal with those models, with data sets, with deployment, or like maintaining of the data artifacts people have. So that's kind of, and today we see that there is like a bridge between those teams. And what is needed, what industry needs, we need to break this wall between the team. And the way how it can be done is we need to give tools which are compatible with both software development stack. But basically, we don't want to manage two different stacks for software developers, for DevOps, and a different stack, technology stack for AI folks, for machine learning engineers, for data scientists. But right now, this is what's happening. If you look at different like data AI platforms, they're saying, okay, that's a platform for AI engineers. And they usually work and exist like separately from software development stack. Our vision is the platforms, the AI platforms have to be built on top of software development stack. They have to use all the principles, all the best practices that are used in software development. What does it mean? It means to use like start version your code, at least code that you actually productionize or share. Version your data sets, version your models and codify them properly in your repository. Use Git as a source of truth for your model that goes to production at least. And use a regular CI/CD based deployment workflow instead of inventing your own, like on the AI side. So we just wanna reuse the same set of best practices for AI teams, so they can speak the same language, right? Like the DevOps folks and machine learning folks. And in this sense, you can unify the processes. You can simplify your organization and get value faster from your ML models.
Excellent. Can you also talk about what is the place, what is the role of MLEM for a Git-based ML model registry?
If you're talking like what is specific about MLEM and how it's related to Git, that's there are few design decisions we made to make it compatible with software development stack. First, when we extract information about models, we put all the models. We do like simple thing. We put all the information in meta files, in a text, human readable meta files, which people can understand and downstream system can pick up. So that's kind of like a principle of codification, right? Principle of infrastructure as a code that we use for extracted meta information for your models. The second principle is for statuses of your models, like what is in production, what is in development, what is on staging. We use Git tags. We don't use a separate set of APIs as many other model registries. We are saying if you put some model in production, just create a tag, Git tag, and this is the way how you can notify your downstream systems, which is usually your CI/CD, about deployment, about the need that this model needs to be deployed. That's the best practice on software development. Why don't we deploy models absolutely the same way? This is how we can make data scientists speak the same language with DevOps. And we simplify this. We are saying there is a set of commands that simplify you to do this, to use the best practices.
Excellent. And this is an open source project which is already hosted on GitHub. How is Iterative kind of, once again, I want to understand the commercial aspect of it, that how are you offering it or what kind of relationship is there?
Yeah, so what I described is open source. You can go and use the project. On top of the project, and this is like our general strategy, if something is needed for individual, for a team, it has to be open sourced. It should be like available, everyone can use this. What we built as a company, for companies, for clients, we built a collaboration layer on top, which is we call DVC Studio. And also we built a management part, data management part as a part of this studio experience. So what does it mean? It means with commercial offering with the studio, you can have an overall picture on your organizations. Not just which model in this repository is in production, which is on the staging, but you can look at the picture on organization-wide. What kind of models we have today? It might be like hundreds of models with dozens and hundreds of repositories. How many models we have in production? Again, those might be like different repositories, different products from different people, different organizations. And what we help you like to build this dashboards and nice UI in the cross-organizational level, which is needed for big companies. It's probably not needed for like a team of 5 data scientists and 2 DevOps engineers for like a small startup settings. But on a company level, that's an essential part that's needed for efficient collaboration.
Dmitry, thank you so much for taking time out today and talk to me about this project. And as usual, I would love to have you back on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking with you.